Hi everyone, and welcome to Bluebeam Review. My name is Ari, and I'm a Bluebeam certified instructor with Digital Drafting Systems. Today, we're going to learn about third-party authentication and how to fix the signer's identity unknown error that typically happens with certain third-party digital signatures. There are different kinds of digital signatures. We have second-party and third-party digital signatures. The first party is typically the person signing, that would be me in this case, and the second party is the software used to sign, and in this case we're using Bluebeam Review. The third party is a company that we actually hire in order to prove our identity, and they give us a special ID. Here's how we can tell the difference. When you go to sign, I'm going to click on this existing signature field right down here. The signature dialog pops up. And in the digital ID list, if you have more than one digital signature, if you see one that has the password field grayed out, this typically implies that this is a third-party signature. This kind of signature also allows us to modify it immediately. Once we're done modifying it, when we click OK to actually sign our file, a new password screen will prompt us to sign. Now, a second-party signature can be identified relatively easily by seeing that the password area is available. And until I fill out this password, then the appearance section doesn't apply. And yes, we can edit the appearance, but we're not able to click OK. You can see that OK is now grayed out completely. So this Ari Rejtman digital ID is a second-party one that I created in Bluebeam Review. All I did is I went to New right here, or you can go to Tools, Signature, Digital IDs, look at the existing ones. This also signifies which ones are second party and third party based on their location, for example. And essentially, we can click on the plus sign right here, and this is another way to get to the new digital ID dialog. Here, I can create a digital ID. Why do different signatures exist? Because one signature is something that I can create right now. If I know anyone's name, and then I know anyone's email address, then I can put in any password that I want, confirm the password, and then click OK. This allows me to essentially impersonate anyone. With third-party authentication, such as with a company like IdenTrust, I can essentially contact them. They will issue me a certificate, as you can see right here, because I've given them very proprietary identifying information, such as my social security number, my driver's license, etc., etc. And then after they can verify my identity, they can approve of my digital signature, which I got about a couple years ago. And the first signature I made a long time ago for myself, and it essentially is pretty useless because anyone can make this. And look who it's issued by. And in the end of the day, who do we really trust? Municipalities and cities need to verify our identity. So many of them require third-party authentication. Now, with third-party authentication, when we sign, we'll eventually see some interesting issues. Let's do that now. I'm going to create a new signature field by going to my signature panel, using the Add Signature Field option, and then I'll make it right down here. I'm currently in form mode, so if I wanted to, I can delete this. I can also press the Escape key to exit out of form mode and go back into markup mode. Now I can simply click on the signature field and begin signing it. Instead, I could have used Sign Document, but when I use it, it forces me immediately to go into the signature dialog after creating a signature field. And then if I cancel out of the dialog, it forcibly exits out of form mode, and I can't access form mode again. And if I try to right click on any signature field, you can see that it goes invisible, but nothing else really happens. So to enter back into form mode, I can go to the Forms panel, select any signature field that I want to. Now I can see yellow grips around the signature field, so I can make it larger, and of course I can right click on it and delete it along with copying it, etc., etc. Let's use the signature field. I'm going to press the Escape key, click on it, and then here at the top, we can see the different digital IDs that I have. And just by looking at the password section, we can tell that this is a third-party digital ID because the password section is grayed out and my appearance down here is currently visible. This means that I can click the OK button and then input my password in a separate password dialog. If I wanted to look at a second-party digital ID, I can check this one out, and we can see that the password section is available for us to type inside. for example, and the appearance section is completely empty, and the OK button is grayed out. I can still edit my signature if it's a second-party signature without having to sign in, but I can't sign unless I know my password. So we're going to go back to the third-party signature because only third-party signatures have the issue of the signer's identity unknown error that occurs in a very unique way, compared to second-party ones that have this by default if the recipient does not have the digital ID of the sender in their trusted identity section. A long time ago, I talked about second-party signature in another tutorial, but it's been many years, and those second-party signatures are basically useless, in my opinion. So let's now click OK for the third-party one. I'm going to save it as third-party ds underscore AR. I'll overwrite an old test that I did. And now something subtle happens. If this is your first time signing in with a third-party signature with a program like Bluebeam Review open, then initially you won't really notice a big difference. And the screen is frozen right now. That's because a new window very subtly appeared down here in my status bar, or my taskbar, excuse me. And I can open this and I can see that it wants me to enter my password. This is the same password that I set up with IdenTrust when they gave me my third-party digital ID. So I'm going to input this. Let me make sure that I spell it correctly. And I press enter, and there we go. The old file has been closed. The new one is now open, and I can see my signature right here. There are a couple of ways to tell this is a third-party signature. I can select it on the screen, right-click on it, and click on Properties. It is issued by IGCA1, so that's great. And the details and certification path can also give us some important information. You'll see that the certification path will also be in Bluebeam Review. So now let's close out of this. Let's go to our signatures panel. We now have one signature. On our end, it has a green certificate mark next to it with a check. Our signature is valid, and the authority section mimics that certification path that we just saw. So all of this is third-party authenticated, and at the end, the first party, the person signing, is me. The second party is the program, and the third one is IdenTrust in this case. Now, on my end, my signature looks great. It's green. But on a recipient's end, it's going to look a little bit different. We'll talk about that now. When someone else receives a file that's been digitally signed, they'll typically see a yellow icon here, and they'll see the text signer's identity unknown. This is happening because of one of two reasons. One, if it's a second-party authenticated signature, they don't have your actual certificate file that comes with your digital ID. You can actually go to Tools, Signature, Digital IDs, select your signature here, and essentially export it. Then you just need to put in your password, and you're going to get this .cer file, a .certificate file, that you can essentially share with people. They can then go to their Tools, Signature, Trusted Identities, and place your digital ID here. Now, this is antiquated and not necessary because third-party is the only way we can really truly verify our identity. With third-party signatures, it's a little bit more complicated. What happens essentially is that people will see that the yellow icon will be there. It'll say signer's identity unknown. And it doesn't seem like there's anything that can really fix it. It seems like that if you try to export the digital ID and you share it with them, it still doesn't solve the issue. This is because there are actually several files that expire on our computers due to our operating systems when Windows was installed or another operating system on our computer. And these files can be found right around here. So with IdenTrust in particular, you can go to identrust.com/support/downloads, and you can get the new Federal Common CAG2 certificate and the Federal Bridge CAG4 certificate files. These are the two files that eventually will expire on all of our computers at different times based on when Windows or another operating system was installed, and we essentially need to download and install them. You can see the instructions here. Feel free to pause the video and take a screenshot. And if these instructions don't work, then you can see these instructions down here that have worked for some of our clients. And basically, these instructions should help a little bit as well. Typically, they're not necessary, but here they are. And this should essentially fix the issue. Now, this is for Bluebeam Review. There are other instructions for other programs, other PDF programs that they need to follow. Some of them require simply turning on the ability to view third-party certificates accurately. and to connect them to whatever certificate store is working with that program. So with Bluebeam Review, we use the Windows certificate store, and therefore we essentially need to update those files manually. Not only does the sender need to do this, but the receiver as well. So essentially, a municipality accepting third-party authenticated digitally signed documents must also go and download those files. After doing that, the signature should refresh itself to green. Of course, in doing this, you'll want to close and open Bluebeam Review during the process to truly refresh it. And that's it. And the signature issue should be fixed. The signature should be valid. And what's really important is if you are seeing this issue initially, to verify that the signature is still valid, you can mouse over it in the signature panel and click on the I symbol. It's the same thing as right-clicking on it and going to Properties. And basically, if you check the validity and the expiration date, you can see whether a signature has expired or not. So that's one indicator that your federal files, the federal common and the federal bridge files, have expired, and you essentially just need to download them in order to truly view third-party signatures properly. And that's essentially how we can fix the third-party authentication signer's identity unknown error with Bluebeam Review. Thanks very much for watching our tutorial on third-party authentication and how to fix the signer's identity unknown error that can occur with third-party signatures in Bluebeam Review. Once again, my name is Ari, and I'm with Digital Drafting Systems. Hope you have a great rest of your day.